We've made significant progress with our design assets so far. We've created our design in Figma, modeled and animated our product in Cinema 4D with a render in Octane, and now we'll get our animations ready for import into Webflow using an extension called Bodymovin.
No, you're saying Bodymovin. It's
If you use positive reinforcement, it's more likely to get through. So if you start with like...
You're very clever, you should get this. It's Bodymovin, no G.
In this lesson, we're going to spend some time creating our composition in After Effects and render everything to a JSON file. This is not Adobe After Effects, it's Cinema 4D. But if we load up Adobe After Effects, this is Adobe After Effects version 22.0.1 build 2, 1% used, 429 plugins. We'll make that 430 by installing Bodymovin. So if we go up to the top, Windows, find extensions on Exchange. And the Adobe Exchange here is where we're going to download this extension. So we could either search our marketplace or it's right here. We could just click. And depending on whether you've done this before, it might say acquired. Let's just press install now. Now, if it prompts you to close applications that are using this, like After Effects, you can always do that. We'll close After Effects, then we'll press OK, and then we'll press install again. And we'll see our notification here that this is a third-party plugin. Let's press OK. Of course, here on macOS, it's prompting us to type our full password. Extension installed, that's complete. Okay, let's go back into After Effects. And now, once we've loaded After Effects again, After Effects, about After Effects. It used to say 429, now it says 429 plugins. Okay, could be a math error. Let's click and go to Windows, Extensions. There's our new extension we've installed. Okay, could it have been this extension was installed the entire time? It's possible. Let's continue by creating our composition. Let's go to New Project. So let's grab our example export folder. Let's drag that into View. Let's select all of those JPEGs we exported from Cinema 4D and Octane earlier. And let's actually click and drag right into our project. So we're just clicking all of these, selecting all, and dragging right into our project. Let's let go. All items imported. Now, traditionally in Adobe After Effects, you might want to create a composition and start everything that way. We're going to bypass that and make sure all of these items are selected. And we're going to click and drag right into the sort of timeline area right here, right where the layers go down below. Let's let go. And it's going to prompt us to create a new composition from that selection of JPEGs. So we're going to choose one composition. We want to use the dimensions from any of these. They all have the same dimensions, so it's OK. And of course, the still duration is how long in After Effects each of these stills last. Let's change ours to 0 seconds and 1 frame. That's 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Base 30, it doesn't matter. Frame rate doesn't matter. It's just a collection of frames for this project. So that's correct. And of course, we want to sequence our layers. We want each of these layers, each of these JPEGs to have its own layer in sequence, in order, but we don't want it to overlap. So once those settings are done, let's press OK. And just like that, we have all of our frames in order. If you click and drag, we can scrub left and right. We can see each of the frames, each has its own layer. Now, why are we doing it like this? Why aren't we using a traditional image sequence? Well, the answer is because Lottie doesn't support a traditional image sequence. It needs to have each JPEG separated on its own layer so that we can scrub left and right, or so that later in the animation itself, we can scroll through the page, we can move through the page and have this animation go forwards and backwards. So with that in mind, everything looks pretty good. We have all of our frames here. Let's go and export this. Let's go to Window, Extensions, Bodymovin. Now, a few things here. First, let's go to Selected. Let's make sure this is selected. This composition is selected for export. Let's go into the settings. Now, in settings, there's two changes we want to make. Of course, inside Assets, let's click in there. There are two options here. One, instead of enable compression, let's choose to copy our original assets. This will make sure the JPEG properties, everything in the JPEGs that we exported from Cinema 4D and Octane are respected here. We can always tweak the quality of those files later, but for right now, let's make sure we're copying original assets and let's include them in the JSON file itself. So copy original assets and include in JSON. Now, could we uncheck copy original assets? Could we instead use compression here in After Effects in this extension? Of course we can. Sometimes, depending on the type of JPEG or the type of PNG, whether there's transparency in it, it could change the file type. It could change some of those settings. So experiment with what works best for your project. For us, we'll copy the original assets and include in JSON. Let's save our changes. And let's press these three dots to choose where we're saving these. And let's give it a name. Let's say bottle open.json. Let's press save. And that export was much quicker than expected, except it wasn't because we have to press render. This might take a little while, so generally what we do, and the render has failed. Why did the render fail? Well, this is actually a very specific reason. Let's go in and hit cancel. Let's close out of this for a moment. Go to After Effects, Preferences, and on Mac OS here, on this version of After Effects, it's going to be down under Scripting and Expressions. And what we want to make sure is enabled is allow scripts to write files and access network. We're going to press that, press OK, Window, Extensions, Bodymovin. And now that we've enabled that access, we should be able to hit render. And it's rendering each layer, and then it should be exporting all the JPEGs in order. This is, of course, an excellent time to talk about the very best episode of Doctor Who ever made. Of course, we're talking about Heaven Sent. In this episode, the Doctor is placed and the render's finished. Let's press done. We did a lot in this lesson. Of course, we installed the extension, we organized our composition, we got our image sequence ready for export. Of course, we made that change in the preferences so we could actually write these files to disk, and we waited less time than we thought we would to export the JSON file. Up next, we're going to put all of this together from Figma and Cinema 4D and After Effects and Bodymovin.
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 No, that's worse. It's Bodymovin. No emphasis change, remove the G. Bodymovin.
Bodymovin.
No.
But of course, at this point, the course has mentioned every single visual development tool except Webflow.
You know what they say, a tide that's going out.
That's not it.
All boats benefit from lifting up.
A rising
tide
lifts all boats.
I knew I'd get it.
Where's Miguel?
Who's Miguel? After Effects, Lottie. These are powerful tools, but an image sequence is only one option. What are you building in After Effects? Share your progress using #figmatowebflow, and we'll share our favorite After Effects animations, videos, and GIFs on social. Greamer? Go ahead for Greamer.